Good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to be showing you a 2007 Ferrari F430 Spider that is on consignment through our dealership NG Supercars.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan and we're here in St. Louis, Missouri, and we are doing our first remote consignment. So we came up with this idea of how do we help do consignments better, and one of the things we thought about is if you keep the car at home, there's a lot less chance of fraud. So this car is actually going to stay here in St. Louis, but I'm out here doing a really thorough inspection, taking a ton of pictures, and we're going to market this car and sell it to one of you guys. That's how these things are going to work. It's a pretty cool idea. So I am out here giving a good inspection, walking around. I took hundreds of pictures already. I got to show you this car because it is absolutely awesome. Super, super clean, very good condition, well above average, and also everything's been taken care of. So it's just absolutely ready to rock and roll. Furthermore, it has only 16,900 miles on it. So low mile example. This is the one you want if you're looking for a Ferrari F430 Spider. All right, so let's take a walk around this Ferrari F430 and show you the very few things wrong with it, but there's a few things wrong with it, and then we'll show you everything that's awesome about it as well. So first of all, we do have challenge wheels. The tires are from 21, 22, and 23. So apparently one of the tires got a nail in it and got replaced. I believe the fronts, this is a 22, and the rears were the 23s or 21. What is this one? This one is a 23. There you go. The fronts have tons of tread left. 830 seconds. That's it. 830 seconds. The rears were 930 seconds. They're basically brand new tires. Front bumper was just repainted, so it looks perfect, basically. It does have a PPF on the entire front clip, so including the A-pillars, and you've got the partial on the side view mirrors, and you do have PPF on the kick plates. Paint condition up here is very, very good. Absolutely no fog or moisture in the headlights. Very, very little paint chips on the hood that were done before the PPF. So you can see just a couple here and there. Maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 6 on the hood, and that's kind of about it. The glass was recently replaced, so it's absolutely perfect. Not a single pit or mark in it. And this headlight, you can see nothing in there, no fog, no moisture, nothing. And it does have scrape guards, so the underside, having had the bumper just get repainted, is basically almost flawless. So it's very rare to see a car in that good a condition on the front, unless they've been repainted, frankly. Again, challenge wheels, there was a tiny little mark there. That might just be dirt. No, it is a tiny little mark, almost impossible to see. Again, tires are in brand new condition. Here's a little scuff right there on the door, or right behind the door. Pretty minor. The mirrors, no wobble, no nothing like that. It's kind of hard to see because of the reflection, but the dash vents are perfectly in place. This is one of those things where when we see that, we usually think that is a sign that this interior is going to be in great shape, because as you know, the leather shrinks and these vents pop up. Sometimes they get ripped out or they fall apart or they break. These are all in exactly where they're supposed to be. There's no waviness in the stitching. So that's the other thing, is you'll see the stitches kind of start doing this and wavy. They look to be perfectly straight. So amazing condition on the dash. We'll get in there and show you that in a second. This wheel, no marks, no scuffs, nothing. And there was a couple of tiny little marks right here. So right there you can see a little scratch. It might be able to be polished out a bit. And right there, also a tiny little scratch. And we have a tiny paint chip right there and right here. This has been replaced. This is actually an LED taillight, and I believe the light bulbs in these lights are actually LED. And we do have the originals if you want to use those. I don't know why you would. Rear diffuser, almost perfect. Again, like no scrapes, no nothing. Just excellent condition. It's kind of almost strange when you see them like this. Like, you're like, how did it get this many miles and not get something? Let's take a look at the engine. Oh, you can hear the F1 pump doesn't cycle very often, so that's a good sign it doesn't have leaks. All right, factory muffler with Capristo exhaust brackets. It has had the headers replaced, so they are the Mark IIs. Theoretically, those combined with the Capristos should make it, hopefully, that you never have to replace the headers again, or at least they should last a very, very, very long time. There is some flaking on the intake manifold. Again, very typical. Needs to be cleaned up a little bit. You can see right there a little bit of paint flaking. The valve cover gaskets have been replaced. as well as a bunch of the suspension ball joints and tie rod ends have already been replaced with the Hill Engineering stuff. So basically, like I said, almost everything you can think of that's been needing to be done on these cars has been done. Really pretty clean, very good condition. I'm not seeing a lot of dirt or anything anywhere. It's all just, well, yeah, it's exactly what you'd want. It's very, very clean. Convertible top is also in nearly flawless condition. There's a little bit of rippling right here, which is 100% of them have this. What's really nice is where these folds are, you can see there is no holes or tears or rips or anything. So right here, right there, and right there, these tops almost always have a hole or a wear mark or something showing. This one doesn't have any of that. The seats are in awesome shape, maybe just need to be cleaned up a little bit, maybe a tiny bit of leather conditioner, but the bolsters look to be in excellent shape. Very, very good shape. No other real substantial wear on the seats. A little bit of like dirtiness right here from rubbing on the other leather. So again, just a good like clean and leather conditioning on the seats would clean up these really nice, and they would have a really good feel to them and have a nice smell and everything. So that's something I would consider doing. You can see it's not shiny very much. Like that's the sign that these seats have needing a desperate clean, is when you see them real shiny, and these are not, which is great. You kind of want this matte look to it, so it actually is the way it's supposed to be. It's looking really good. Carpet's pretty clean. Maybe could use a tiny bit of like an extractor on some of the spots. You can see just a little bit of dirt, but that's, I mean, it has been driven. All the buttons have been sent out to Sticky RX, so they're all refinished. They all have the nice soft touch. You'll never have to worry about them getting sticky again. Even the clamshell, man, it's all been done. It does have the Daytona striping behind the seats, which is a pretty cool option. You don't see that all the time. It does have the uprated stereo system, as is pretty much in 100% of these Spyders. You can see there is some scuffing from the seat. This right here sits on that paint. And for taller people that have the seats touching this, unfortunately, they all do that. Passenger side, we'll show you that in a second. It's not as bad. Then refinished, looking good. Nothing on the door card of note. It looks to be in great shape. No ripples, nothing like that. You got the red tachometer. Binnacle is in great shape. Again, look at that leather. That leather's super, super good. Really good condition. And you got the carbon fiber center console, carbon fiber instruments. These buttons have already been taken care of, so they're nice and solid. Even the ashtray is like, yeah, 2 keys. It has books. We'll show you in the front, actually. All right, we've got the tire inflator, the toolkit, which is complete, and the cover. And we have some of the books, and we also have some documentation. It was serviced regularly. I checked the brake fluid. Brake fluid is showing 0% moisture, so that's all set. Moving on to the passenger side. Again, the seats, excellent condition, basically no bolster wear at all. Maybe just a tiny bit of cleanup. You can see just a little bit of dirtiness right there. That can be cleaned up with some leather cleaner. And again, behind the seat, just a tiny bit of scuffing, almost none on the passenger side, which is awesome. So just excellent condition. Really way above average from what we typically see in these cars. And even the window seals are lined up perfectly, so you don't have, when you wash the car, it gets water inside. Nope, this one's all set. So we kept all the factory parts. So here's the factory amplifier, here's the factory light bulbs. He has aftermarket Scudding Swift stuff. Like here's those side position markers, and of course the very desirable Ferrari flashlight. All right, we are in the Ferrari F430 Spider. Starts right up, no hesitation. I'm gonna run the top twice because that's our rule. Always with convertibles, do the top 2 times. Why? Because sometimes the second time it fails. And sometimes the second time it'll drop hydraulic fluid on you. So always watch, make sure that it settles correctly. Especially right here. Oh yeah, I can tell it's gonna be fine. It's funny because you see them enough times, you know when they're gonna bind up. All right, successful one way. Notice that it's not pausing very long between different steps. That's a really good sign. A lot of times you'll see it where it gets to a spot and it struggles and struggles and finally kicks over. Yeah, that's pretty good. And second time. And I'm not going to drive with the top down just because I want you to be able to hear me. You know, it's actually quite a lovely day. It's like 65 something degrees out, kind of sunny, sort of. Perfect. 16,958. We're gonna keep it under 17,000 just for you, YouTube. So only a little bit of miles. All right, so still getting warmed up. It's got a little bit of slipping. The PIS probably needs to be tightened just a tiny bit, but we'll see if it, as it warms up. You know, when you first start these cars, the PIS, don't lean too much into it.
Yeah, go out this way.
Okay. Oh, is that an aftermarket turn signal?
Yeah, when put the lights in, so it's louder for the convertible.
Oh, wow! I've never heard that before.
And it's got a flashing light on it at night. It's blue light.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Never seen that before. So it got those aftermarket Scud LED turn signals. So interesting. Well, yeah. So the PIS, as you know, the car, when they warm up, the PIS will start getting tighter. So don't adjust it until you're fully warmed up and you've been driving a good 15 minutes, shifting a bunch. You want to get the clutch nice and hot, because if you adjust it while it's cold, then it'll be too tight when it gets hot. Next thing you know, you actually will stall the car, and it'll be like super jerky and other weird things. So just kind of be patient. Does it have like different modes where you can tell it to shut up? Or is it all?
It's just because when you got a convertible, you want that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, when it's nice and loud and you're. All right. Well, you don't have to worry about like leaving your blinkers on, because it's pretty loud.
It's very loud.
Turn on the AC, even though it's not exactly hot out, but I just want to make sure it works. There you go. You can see the PIS started to tighten up already. It's feeling much better than it did just a little bit ago. Yeah, AC is already getting cold, so I'm gonna turn it back off.
Take a left here.
Okay. Exhaust valves work. Doesn't have that dead spot that you sometimes get in these cars. Kind of wobbles steering wheel back and forth a little bit, and if you feel a click or it doesn't respond almost instantaneously, that's when you need to tighten up that nut that's down there. The other thing is these cars should feel fairly darty, so if you don't feel it kind of immediately respond when you turn the wheel, a lot of times people will have alignment shops do the alignment and they'll make it not have enough toe in. So keep in mind, it's basically a street legal race car, so it should be darty. It should not feel like a normal car. It should be a little bit more on edge. Maybe nervous is a good term I sometimes like to use. The car should feel slightly nervous. You know, you want it to be that way. That responsiveness should be a part of these. There was zero rattle in any of the suspension, so a lot of times these 430s, when the suspension is getting old and has some corrosion in the ball joints, the first few minutes of driving, every time you hit a big bump, you'll hear this creak sound, like a bump, and it'll come out of the front suspension or the rear suspension. I didn't hear any of that. So this car, like he mentioned, it's had suspension replaced or suspension components replaced, ball joints, tie rod ends, stuff like that. So all of that should be new, and we'll verify. We'll get it up on the lift in a minute and check it all out. All 6 gears work. Shifting seems to be no problem. Nice and quick and responsive. Just kind of waiting for it to warm up to really let it open up a little bit. It's probably strange having someone talking to themselves to camera while you're riding with them. We We've done so many of these cars, I can tell in the first 2 minutes if it's fine or not. So I'm not going to get on it crazy because it is still a little bit damp on the roads. It's been drizzly this morning, so but it does feel very responsive. Immediately picks up, valves open instantaneously as soon as you give it more than a little bit of throttle, which is typical. Again, shifts very good up and down. Great sound to it. It's hard to go wrong with that. It never gets old. I don't care how many times I've driven one of these cars. It always brings a smile to my face. Once you start getting above 6,000-7,000 RPM, they just sound so good. It's just such a good car. I'm a fan. Yeah, let's set. Oh, so good. Ooh. Unfortunately, BMW just cut into my playtime. So, holding all the right temperatures, no lights on the gauges. It's kind of unremarkable in that everything's what it should be. So there's, typically when we do these reviews, it's pointing out all sorts of flaws and saying, here's the things you need to look out for that are wrong. In this car, I'm kind of struggling to think of things because it's like, well, there's not that much wrong. So it's kind of boring in that sense, but that's what you want, actually. Yeah, there's a little bit of squeaky squeak. It's kind of a tighter suspension, which is not uncommon. You can hear it. I don't know if you just go straight. I don't know if it'll show up in camera. It's so faint. It's not like the typical bump or crack or pop sound that you get when these cars have bad ball joints. So I don't think that's it at all. I think it's just kind of some of the tighter suspension on this car is causing a little bit of creak in some of the panels or something. It doesn't sound like a suspension rattle. It sounds more like maybe an interior like flex. That. Okay, we are underneath the Ferrari F430, so we have the luxury of having a lift with us at this garage, which is awesome. So the owner is letting me pull off the bottom panel. I'll be able to see if there's any leaks or anything notable on the rear of the car. I was just looking around at all the suspension components, and you can see evidence that they've all been replaced. So all the ball joints have brand new little dust covers or boots or whatever you want to call it. No leaks from any of the shocks, no signs of any wear on any of that. So it's actually in, again, remarkably good condition. There's even barely any scrapes on this under panel. I mean, it's like, that's it. That's all the scraping you've got is like that and that. There is a crack right here in this piece of the under panel. Okay, we found our first sort of flaw. Something you're never going to notice. Okay, there you go. Again, take a look at that. You can see the boots are brand new, which is great, top and bottom. So all of those have been replaced. Looking on the back side of it, the diffuser almost has no scrapes, just a tiny bit right here. And then there's one scrape right there. And that's it. Underside, to see it this clean is like super, super uncommon. Again, brand new ball joints there. The CV joints looked to be in good shape. The CV boots had not ballooned out or any signs of leakage. So we're going to pull off this panel real quick and take a look underneath. All right, we did find this little gouge right here in this bottom panel. Not that you would ever see it from up top, but it is there, just so you know. I'm not sure what happened there. It's pretty unusual, but yeah, as you can see, like from the side, you'll literally never see that. So I did find the tiniest leak. So the water oil pump right here was replaced like a couple months ago, and there is a tiny bit of coolant on these bolts and coming off of the thermostat housing up here. So I think they'll probably be able to be fixed under warranty or something because it was just done. Verified that the engine mounts are in perfect condition. The headers are great condition. No leaks out of the oil or out of the valve cover gaskets, so no leaks there. You can see the CV boot is basically perfect. In fact, that is the cleanest CV boot I've ever seen. I don't know if it's been replaced before, but sure looks like it. Outer CV boot is also good. Same with on the left side. Looks nice and good, and that one's also clean. Again, no leaks out of the valve cover gaskets back here, which we would expect because they've been replaced fairly recently. AC looks to be clean. No leaks out of the AC compressor. Surprisingly enough, no leaks out of the power steering pump, which is really common. You'll see it drip down onto these lines and stuff. It's not uncommon at all. Super clean up here. Everything looks really clean. Just this one little oil leak or the coolant leak, which again, it was just replaced, so that's kind of what's going on. Up, and you can hear the F1 pump. So we've been working at this for probably a good 10 minutes, and that's only the third time it's cycled. So you can see it's holding pressure very well. No concerns about the F1 system at this point. And that's kind of it for underneath. Everything looks really, really good. Hey YouTube, I'm sitting here editing. I did get an email from the owner of the car, and it is being sent to the Ferrari dealership, and they are going to fix that coolant leak. So that will be taken care of before this car goes to you, so no worries on that. All right, YouTube, so you can see this is just a wonderful, very clean example. So talking to the owner, he was not aware of that coolant leak because he had just had that pump replaced, so he's actually gonna get that taken care of, so that should not be a problem. Other than that, that's kind of it. This is one of those cars that's so clean that there's not a whole lot to really show you that's notable. A tiny scuff on the other side of the tonneau where these guys get dragged on sometimes when the tops are misaligned slightly or whatever, but that is super, super common. But otherwise, everything else seems to be in complete working order. Yeah, this is ready to go. If you're looking for a very, very clean two-owner Ferrari F430 under 17,000 miles, and you want a like top-of-the-line one in the upper end of clean cars, this is it. Send us an email, sales@ngsupercars, if you're interested in this car. But otherwise, we got a lot more cool car stuff, so check it out. Also, if you're interested in having your car get consigned with us, doing a remote consignment, send us an email or check out this link right here. Visit that and we'll get you set up. We can do the same thing for you. So that's it for now. We'll see you in the next one. We're going to be doing a lot of cool car stuff. You're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.